What is something acceptable in women but frowned upon in men? Talking to strangers' kids. In general, just being good with children. Kids love me because I never really grew up much myself, so they get attached easily, but I feel like I have to forcibly ignore them or push them away because people will look down on me in some way. I don't know what to call it, but I was bullied by a woman. When I was school, she always made fun of my looks. I made one single comeback. She started bawling, and somehow I turned into the bad guy. There was a girl in my class in high school who perpetually pinched or hit my then boyfriend. Now that I'm typing that, I don't know if she wanted his attention or had a crush on him, but when finally he snapped after months and months, she cried and was hurt. I was there, and other people too. He only took her wrist and told her to stop, but she had a medical condition that made her thin as paper. Supposedly, I think she wanted attention most of all, and she wore a brace for 2 weeks. Even if she was weak, it was a bitch thing to rely on her condition to hit others thinking they can't push her back. Mostly anything involving children. Sorry guys. Hanging out with your kids at the park. Do you know this man? Is he okay for you to be with? Bitch. Get the absolute heck away from my daughter. We don't know you. You are making her scared with your Sephora perfume and your scary-ass scarf. While visiting my mom for Thanksgiving, I saw a woman walking a dog that looked just like my brother's dog, whom had passed away earlier that year. When my brother arrived, I asked if he had seen the doggy Ganga. He said he had, and he almost had stopped, and asked if he could pet the pup, but wasn't sure if the woman was a teenager or a young adult, so opted not to interact. Wouldn't have thought twice about the woman's age. Most of the time, a woman's interactions with children and with other women are given the benefit of the doubt, whereas due to the actions of some creeps, harmless actions from males are more likely to come across as creepy, even if they aren't any ill intention. Just the other day, I was picking up some Pokemon cards at the store. A little girl walked up and started picking some out as well. She started asking me if I liked Pokemon and stuff like that. I would have liked to talk to her all about it, but I just kept it super short, grabbed my stuff, and walked away because I didn't want anyone thinking I was a creep. I didn't even have time to figure out exactly what I wanted. Being a stay-at-home parent. Yeah, I've been at it 8 years. Some days are awesome, most days are exhausting, but I don't get invited to the other stay-at-home parents' things because they are mom groups. No one is specifically excluding me, but it doesn't occur to anyone that a stay-at-home parent might not be a mom. This shit is isolating. I've been a stay-at-home dad for a year now. I've started telling people I'm a freelancer because of the judgment. Going up to a random kid and being jolly with them, or even talk to them. My dad loved children. It was so difficult once he had Alzheimer's to make him understand. He couldn't walk up to children and tell them, "You're such a pretty little girl. Would you like to come home and play with my granddaughter and I?" Definitely talking to kids in public. You see a woman walk up and call your child cute, she's being nice. When a man does it, he's being creepy. Being a domestic violence victim. When my friend was assaulted by his wife, some of our friends were like, he probably started it. Many people don't believe women can be vicious and men can be domestic violence victims. One of my biggest regrets was not stepping in when I saw this. Girl that I, also a female, was roommates with some 15 years ago, went from cool and chill to suddenly yelling, putting down, hitting and throwing things at her boyfriend at the time. I was so shocked, I didn't even know what to do. I'll never not intervene again. Fuck that shit. Abuse victims are abuse victims, period. Also adding sexual assault rape to that list. Don't want to go into details much, but I was drugged a few years back by a girl, and this happened. Took 4 phone calls to 911 to get a police officer to see me, 7 different emergency rooms to get one to even check my vitals, and I was consequently fired from my job for not showing up to an AM meeting with a client while dealing with this. After several years and proof of the attack, which was never even investigated. Even with her on security cameras and her license plate, etc., I at least got an apology from the CEO that he regretted firing me years later when he realized I had been true. Edit. For publicity's sake, please consider donating to ARC's Rape Crisis Center. After being turned away from standard hospitals, I was referred to them. Around 45 of the victims they meet are male, and most of these cases go unreported when treated. Male rape and assault, often by female attackers, is surprisingly common but gets swept under the rug because it tends to use drugs instead of brute force on average. Being abused by women has vastly changed my view of the world. The lack of acknowledgement is astounding. Not related to violence, but recently went through something like this, where a woman accused me of being threatening, obsessive, and a stalker that led to me getting kicked out of college. Didn't know until recently that they had gotten the police involved, as a few days ago 2 officers show up at my home telling me the story in what she said and how their investigation unfolded. I got lucky, as I know that the situation could have gone the wrong way. Thankfully, they came to the conclusion that no crime had been committed, and now the ball's in my court to take legal action against the college. It's a very scary situation to be defamed like that, and I pray for any men going through a similar experience or have been victims of actual assault. Playing with kids. If you are a male, somehow they will think you are a pedo. I went to my nephew's birthday party over the summer at the park. My 2-year-old and I went to one of the swing set-aside things, where there was just one other kid playing, probably like 8 years old. Her parents must have been nearby, but I didn't know who they were. Anyway, she suddenly comes up to me and says, "Hi." I say hi, she asks my name. I tell her, and then without warning she just starts hugging me. I was so terrified. What do you do in that situation? I can't push her away. I can't just hug this little girl I've never seen before back. So I just nervously smiled and kind of backed away slightly while she hugged my leg. She eventually just left and started playing again. Later on, I mentioned it to my sister-in-law and she laughed. Apparently, that girl is autistic and just loves men for some reason and hugs them all the time. I felt relieved, but goddamn, I was so scared. I was gonna get my ass beat. My mom owns a daycare. Guys aren't allowed in the room age of 3 on down. I was told it is because people think men are perverts and don't know how to take care of young children. Known to know how to take care of young children, being able to work in these aged rooms. The only place I've ever felt comfortable taking my nephew is sporting events. Even the time I tried to go to his t-ball game, I got dirty looks from the other parents who didn't recognize me. I wound up watching him bat, once then hanging out at a bar until the game was over. My sister once asked why I'm not more involved in her kids' lives. This is exactly what I told her. According to comments, it's mostly a stupid American mindset. As a French dad raising my kid alone for the last 10 years, I've never been disturbed or praised for hanging out with regret. Expressing to another person how someone's behavior hurt you. I saw my sister speak about something that was upsetting her, and I think I genuinely felt jealous when I realized I would never feel safe enough to express how I felt to anyone else. I just feel as a man I'd be seen as weak for doing so. In my experience, when a man is upset, even when having valid reasons for being so, he can also be seen as a threat in addition to being weak. Edit, since I'm getting some catty and other responses that misrepresent what I said and outside of the context of the person's example that I'm responding to. Not that I feel it will help them, but just for the benefit of anyone that comes across it. It should depend on whether the emotion of being upset is in response to a valid offense, rather than just unreasonable rage over an imagined, assumed, or other invalid offense. In my experience, reasonable anger leads to men being invalidated. I've seen it and experienced it time and time again. As a single dad who has custody of his son, 5, I have been told a child needs a mother's love. If I show affection to my son, I get weird looks. People always assume I am giving mom a break, when in reality she left because she felt she didn't get to date enough before getting married and having a family. But yay, a lot of frowned upon stuff seems to involve me simply being a decent father. Mayo edit. Thank you all so much for the kind words. I only wish that we all keep moving forward and loving each other. I want my kid to grow up loving the world and seeing the best in people. The sun rises and another day comes. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. As a widower raising my 2 sons, fuck the nosy biddies. No, I'm not giving mom a break, babysitting or anything other than parenting my children, but the look on their faces when I tell them mom's dead is almost worth it. Dad, good job raising your kid. This is not an easy thing we do, but we do it because we love them. My very first girlfriend only ever had her dad since her mother passed away shortly after giving birth. The man was a real champ at being a parent and seemed to take on both mom and dad roles effortlessly. When I once asked her about whether she missed the idea of having a mom, she replied, "Not really, my dad is there for me in every way. The only wish I have is that I could have known my mom in person. We were 14 back then. So if that isn't testimony to his excellent parenting, I don't know what is." My cousin is a single father to a girl. He asked one of the daycare workers a question about hygiene and they called keeps. Ridiculous. He's a good dad. He just wanted advice, help from someone he thought he could trust. Screw all those people. I'm lucky enough to live where that kind of stigma doesn't really exist, as far as I can tell. But I read this all the time, and it upsets me because the neighborhood kids often come up to me and other grown-ups. Almost all of them men cause we're the ones outside to hang out or talk or play. Nobody would bat an eye out, give anyone any weird looks. Most even think it's wholesome. A few bad apples really spoiled a whole bunch out there, particularly in the West, it seems. Men interacting with kids in general, at least in the EU. Opening up about our feelings, mental health. I had some female friends that insisted I could talk to them about this. I said I didn't really care to be alive some days, and they came back with, "Don't say that, you're scaring me." Okay, I'll keep it to myself, I guess. This is the real one. Who will most men call when they're at their absolute lowest? Nobody, because nobody gives a damn or will listen without judgment. That is the most common answer you will get if you ask the majority of men. I'll say it every chance I get. Please check on the men in your lives on the regular. Make sure they're okay. Don't let them say I'm fine. Using toys for masturbation purposes. I never have, but have heard many responses towards those who have always been double-sided. I bought a fleshlight back in October because I wanted to up my stamina, but I haven't used it once or every time I think about it. It's like fuck, just seems like a lot of clean up to do later. My wife has a vibrator, a dildo, a bathtub jacuzzi faucet, and a detachable shower head. I showed her a fleshlight, like thing that I was looking at, and she said it was gross and like I was trying to cheat on her. She already thinks me jerking off in between our regular sex is nasty. Being timid, shy. Yeah, this is a strange one, because all the people who think I'm less masculine being shy and judge me for it keep me at arm's length. But the weird result is everyone's happy, because the less people who want that, the easier it is for me. Crying. We should honestly let men have feeling, instead of expecting them be this emotionless provider. God. Having big boobs. I just want my milkshake to bring all the boys to the yard. Manicures, pedicures, massages, indulgent baths, those sensory touch things that are so healing to our physical self. Exploration in every kind of fashion, especially as someone who enjoys dance. It's been really remarkable to see how women can wear basically anything as long as certain parts are covered. Big poofy pants that come up above your waist with sports bra. Cool. Skin-tight half leggings with a poncho. Excellent choice. But men always wear the same shit. T-shirt or button shirt, pants in the usual style. Yay, men who follow trends are seen as feminine in some social circles and shallow in others. Me and my girlfriend were playing tag with my nieces, and some lady came afterwards and asked my little niece, "Do you know this man?" My girlfriend told her to fuck off. After that time, I really thought, what was my mistake? What did I do wrong? And wonder, do all women think every male has wrong intentions? So to answer your question, it's strolling with little children these days. I was taking my dog to the park, and as we walked by the playground, a couple kids ran up to see my dog, who loves kids. He was a minor celebrity to the kids at the park. So I kneeled down so I could hold his harness and be an eye level with the kids, and they patted him then, after a couple kids. Anecdotes and telling me about their dogs. I stood up to walk off and had a woman follow me all the way to the dog section and threatened to call the cops if I ever did that again. So naturally, I did it as I left, and sure enough, she went and got the officer who stopped by the park on his patrol. After asking me a handful of questions, he told her to fuck off. It's insane how brainwashed our culture is against men interacting with children in public open spaces in a completely safe way. Like my dog wanted to talk to the kids, not me. I have the same worry. I am a dad with 3 girls. They are mixed race, and one of my kids looks nothing like me. I am worried that when I am with her, that people think I am a weirdo or a child trafficker. I also coach her soccer team, and I try not to hug or touch the kids. They are all young, and one of them got a ball to the face. I tried to comfort her without touching her, and it was not successful. I had to call out to one of the moms to help me. I don't think a female coach would have the same concerns. My daughters love of all their teachers, and I don't think anything of it. I don't take anything of it. I don't touch or do anything to the player. I am afraid that people think I am a predator or have ill intentions. I'm a pretty young dude in education, and this whole concept is absolutely fucking horrifying to me. Sometimes kids run up to me and just straight up give me a hug, and my first instinct is, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Where are my hands? Oh fuck. Someone might get the wrong idea. There is this one kid currently in my school. He's in 5th grade, and 100s does not pick up on social cues, and is very likely on the spectrum. Every fucking day he asks, "Hi Mr. Egnards, may I give you a hug?" And on the one hand I want to say no, because I don't want any other teacher's kids getting the wrong idea. But on the other hand, I give him a hug every fucking day because he gets super bullied about being gay. Because he gets super bullied about being gay, knows someone is in his corner. But do the female teachers need to worry about this kind of thing? Nope. They give just about any kid a full embrace hug, while I'm over here giving an awkward one 2-second side hug. My dad was a seasonal police officer, and part of his patrol is a parkland with a beautiful little pond and a great big swing set. The area is very popular for children and developmentally delayed individuals because the area is in a 12-foot fence against a canal, so it's very safe and has only one in and out past a ranger and lifeguard. My dad wholeheartedly believes in the healing power of nature and that children should be outside elbows deep in dirt or sleeping in the grass. He frequently visited this park as part of walking his beat and made great friends with a 10-year-old girl we believe has Down syndrome. She would run up and hug him every time she saw him enter. One day, as she ran to hug him with her caregiver, in arm's length, a woman made a very loud, obnoxious comment that between carrying a gun and groping a child, it was a good day for an old white man flexing his pup. My dad was gutted and actually came home in tears. The man's behavior has been beyond reproach for his 35 years with our village. He has piles of awards, but his proudest achievement is that his gun's never been out of the holster. He walks a path so people see him, and he can be there for them, and this one horrific person crushed him as he stopped to connect on a more personal level with a child. He fosters that he will listen and he will help no matter what. It takes years to build those relationships, but one woman only seconds to destroy the confidence of doing right. Dad got over it, and he has retired and now serves as a magistrate in the court. That cultivated respect of everyone in his care is gone. The old guys are almost all gone, and the county cops don't even get out of their cars. We, as citizens, are losing the protectors who cared, and people like the woman who destroyed my dad wonder why no one helps, no one stops to say hello. Nursing, although it's becoming more accepted these days. Male nurse here. When patients ask me why I chose to become a male nurse, I just tell them that the surgery to become a female nurse is too expensive. Edit for clarity. Nursing as in being a nurse, not nursing as in breastfeeding. A sex toy. Yeah, I got loads of toys. My buff, only the one I got him. Yet he's supposed to be the perv low. Woman can wear men clothes, but men can't wear women clothes. To quote Eddie Izzard, they're not women's clothes, they're my clothes. I bought them. Nothing stopping me from wearing a thong. Some I've observed in my life. Crying, society is getting better about this. Being compassionate, seen as weak. Being helpful to children that aren't related. We know why though. Growing out our hair. Not being the breadwinner in the relationship. Society is getting better about this too. But I have hair to the bottom of my shoulder blades. It's naturally really curly, and I get nothing but I wish I had your hair from every woman at work, and that shuts the guys up. Going out for a night out with no money. I had a very attractive ex-girlfriend who would actively forget her wallet when she went out, but didn't care or matter because guys were always offering free everything. I told her to stop being an idiot, albeit she was 21, as to not knowingly or unknowingly place herself in a position where she might held to account for someone's purchase or offer. To double down, her family was decently wealthy. She didn't work or have expenses or anything, just swiping daddy's card for everything she wanted. Complimenting women. I see all my girlfriends complimenting random women they don't know about their hair, clothes, etc. But if I do the same, it's assumed I'm hitting on them. complimenting a girl, having feelings other than yay football, and boo, I hate my spouse, making fun of the intelligence of the opposite gender, being a virgin. When a woman goes to the door naked to get pizza from the delivery person, the video is uploaded for people to enjoy. Let a man do that and see what happens. I don't care how you slice it. That's a sex crime.